At school, most of us learn how to interpret things, to distinguish what things are and what is right and what is wrong. Those who know the right answers get the right marks. But is that the best way to develop? Is that what we really need? Or should we be teaching curiosity? I think we should be thinking more about curiosity, and here's why. You see, we're back to this notion of above the line and below the line. And what does it take to become a team leader that people enjoy following and who brings out the best engagement of their team members? Well, it turns out it's people, team leaders, who are consistently above the line. I've spoken about this in previous videos. Go back to my blog posts on my website and check them out if you didn't catch the first ones, if you want the fuller explanation. So we've spoken also about our need to be right. And this week I'd like to speak a little bit about our need to know. So when we're confronted with something that we don't know what is, we basically have two options, don't we? We can go open mind and we can say to ourselves, I wonder what that is. I wonder why it's done that way. I wonder why that looks like that. I wonder what he's thinking about that. Or we can jump straight to an interpretation. I know that this is this, not that. Remember last week's video? So the interpretation, if we're not very, very careful, immediately starts a new drift below the line. And if we're not very skillful, we will very soon be caught in a drama triangle, either defending ourselves against the villains or pursuing the ignorants who don't understand what this is. So the skill that we need to develop as team leaders is the skill of asking great questions. Not the kind of questions like so how do you think you're going to achieve that? That's not a very good question. A good question is a question that's driven by a genuine curiosity, a need to know. I wonder what he's thinking. I wonder what other solutions could be. So what are your team meetings like? What are meetings like in your organization? Do you enjoy them? Or are they tough to get through? The core of bad meetings is closed minds. There's very little point in bringing together a bunch of closed minds. What for? Interesting meetings are meetings between open minds, people who are ready to explore things that haven't been explored before, people who are ready to listen, people who are ready to ask more questions. So the team leader who comes to the team meeting not with a long list of things that he or she knows needs to be like this and telling everybody how it's supposed to be, but instead comes with a bunch of interesting questions. I wonder what you people think about this or that. If you want to know more about all this, go back to my blog post and explore this series of little rants of mine about how we develop some much better team leaders out there, because we sure need it. I'll see you next week.